Hi, Tana. I'm sorry this has taken me a while to get to doing this. Um, this looks pretty good. I am not sure about this font pair. I do like this text pretty well, like the portfolio text, but the cursive type text or the script text, not super fond of it. I think maybe sticking with the script, but maybe a different script, maybe something a little bit more bold and rounded for the script might be a little nicer. There's just something about the script I just don't really like it that much. Um, Also, this shape here probably needs to be refined. Maybe you're planning on doing that. I would remove the page number on the front, and let's see if it's on the back cover too. Not on this back cover, okay. So yeah, just on the front cover I would remove that. I can show you how to do that in InDesign. I'm just going to be going over like mostly just the design of this, not necessarily the anything else. So I think the drop shadows are working pretty well. I would like to see this maybe with a solid pink background instead of the gradient. You could do different values of pink throughout, like you could stick with pink for every page, but maybe a solid pink for each page. For some reason, the drop shadow with the gradient just reminds me of like, I don't know, like old school design, like 90s internet design, which is not a good thing necessarily. I think you've done well with it. I just think it would look better with a flat color in the background. I like your drop shadows, but I would make them, maybe consider making them a different color, a contrasting color potentially, maybe a brighter color, maybe like a neon color, or maybe a blue, like a dark blue. This L is hitting into this up here. I think you should just line it, like left align it maybe, or just left align the C so that the C is down here. And more space, like probably about the same as you have up here, so that the L isn't hitting the other L. Same with these others, you know, just giving them more space. This one has maybe a little bit more space than this one, but just make sure that they're lining up. And Cape Fear Seafood Company could probably be all in one line. And whatever size you have this one at, make sure this one's at that same size, and so on and so forth throughout the whole booklet, which I think you probably have done. You have your page numbers. Consider adding a shape behind your page number and changing the color of your page number to white, maybe, and having like a darker shape underneath that. You could, I know you have a Tana Lee Designs on your like logo on your resume, and it might be interesting to put that somewhere and use that instead of this script font, because I think your resume one looked really good. So the Cape Fear, you have this in there. I'm going to give you a little bit of help with the text, but not in this video. This is mostly going to be design stuff for each page. So consider changing it to maybe a dark blue instead of the gray or black drop shadow. Maybe make it a hard drop shadow so that there's no blur on it at all. It will make it look more modern. And then with the solid fill background, you could do different values of pink, different shades of pink, but just fill them in. So you might have a line down the middle of different pinks, depending on the page you're on. These turned out pretty good. I would change, the color of this and maybe make it sharper. So I'm not quite sure what versions of the logo this is as opposed to this, but I would just put in, like, make sure you know which ones are the finalized versions of the logo and which ones, maybe these are the rough drafts, I'm not sure, but just make sure because there's 6 different logos here and I'm not sure which one's which, if this is a rough draft in here or anything. I know that these are the thumbnails, but just make it clear what's going on over here, because there's 3 here and then there's 3 here, so I'm not totally sure what's going on. with it. Okay. Fine, project number 4. You've got your multiplication rock and roll. And then you also have, this probably just goes with this maybe. I'm not quite sure exactly how it works, but it might look a little bit cleaner to maybe include this one by itself over here and then put these two underneath here maybe. I don't necessarily like how this is cutting in to the text here. I just don't think it looks super clean. Also make sure your spaces between your header and your body copy are consistent throughout your book. Just check that and make sure. These could be smaller and just placed next to each other, and this one could be bigger over here. You could even break up this text over 2 pages and have all 3 images, you know, maybe still those 2 here and this one over here bigger, but break up the text if you wanted to, whatever you think. But just clean this up a little bit. It's a little bit chaotic the way it's laid out. Okay, so I would put the problems on this side and the solutions on this side, because we read left to right. So we want to look at the old version first and then the new version second. So I would just switch these around. I would make this a little bit smaller than these, just to make sure that that's not being read as one of the headers that you have here. So we just need to make sure that that is a little bit smaller, or a decent amount smaller than this, just so that we know that that's secondary information, if that makes sense. So we've got traditional art. You don't necessarily need to repeat traditional art throughout. You could just say it one time here and then delete these instances of traditional art. Or maybe you could just have it in one per spread. So you keep it on the left, but you get rid of it on the right on all your pages. I would left align all this. So the dragon, make that left aligned. Consider using justified on the body copy with the last line left aligned. Justified with last line left aligned on all of these paragraphs. I don't know if there's a bold. I feel like these are bold and this doesn't look as bold to me, so maybe just double check to make sure that these are bolded as well. And just left align these, or justify. I would left align the title and then justify the paragraph with last line left aligned, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Whatever size this is, I would make this and that same size. This is kind of close. There's a tension point there, so maybe just move those down a smidgen. Same thing with the alignment on this. Left align this title to the paragraph, and then justify this with the last line left aligned. Get rid of this traditional art. Okay, I'm just going to keep going here. Get rid of this. Do the alignment on all of these. Make sure that this is bolded, if there is a bold. You could size this one up so the edge of this is aligned with the edge of this dog photo. This one might not be able to size up to where it's aligned with that, so, but you could always center this just on the page once this is gone. Get rid of this, do the alignment on this, and that, and that. Same with this page. Just left align all of these maybe, so that it looks really clean, because right now it's a little chaotic. Make sure this is bolded. You can always do a fake bold of like 0.125 stroke if you need to, if you don't have a bold in that. Same here. It is throwing me off a little bit that when you push shift and you get that capital M, it's so much bigger than the rest of the text, or with the W as well. Maybe just making it all uppercase would be good. In the character panel, there are 2 capital T's, So if you highlight this whole thing and push that, it'll make this whole thing capital, so they'll all be the same size. Because this just looks kind of weird with the M and the L and the B so much bigger than the rest of the art, or of the text, sorry. Let's see. This doesn't have a drop shadow on it, so make sure all of your images have drop shadows. So, I mean, this one doesn't, so maybe that's the only one in the whole spread, but or the whole thing, but we'll see. Just double check to make sure you have, you know, consistency throughout. This is nice. I would almost fix this with Fallon's Flowers text. It's hard to see in that design. You might have to re-export that, bring it back in. Maybe just a different color there to get that to show up a little bit better. Let's see. Just trying to figure out here. Okay. If you had a different shape underneath these with white, that'd be cool. I already said that earlier, but those page numbers would maybe look cool with a little shape underneath there. This is nice. That's nice too. This looks a little blurry. I don't know if you just need to re-export that at a higher res, maybe. I really like the back. This cover is really nice. Yeah, really simple. So yeah, I would bring your logo in on the front here. Tannerly Designs Portfolio, or the Portfolio Tannerly Designs. Whatever you had on your resume was really nice. I thought that it looked really nice. So I'll try and quickly look at your INDD file as well. We want to check links in our links folder. Okay, let's see if this can work for me. I'm going to pause it. Okay, also I saw there's an error here. It says reworked pat. We want to put an S in there. Like I said, we can get these selected, and if we're in Window, Workspace, Essentials Classic, we can see a little bit more, but in the character panel, if we go to three buttons, if we have this highlighted, we can go to the TT text and it will make it larger.